What's going on, guys? Bringing another alumni team video today. This one's actually a team a lot of you have been asking for. It is the Kitchener Rangers. So, as you can see there, 87 overall team. They're actually the exact same rating as the Michigan Wolverines and the North Dakota Fighting Hawks. Now, the Fighting Hawks are a pretty good team. They didn't make the playoffs, but they were competitive. Michigan, though, actually finished last in the league, so should be interesting to see just how good this Kitchener Rangers team does. So I'll start off here, guys, by showing you the logo. Obviously, use the New York Rangers logo for this. If you switch the New York there at the top for Kitchener, it's pretty much the exact same. Obviously, you know, the Kitchener Rangers logo is based off the New York Rangers logo, so it's supposed to be similar. Unfortunately, though, I don't know why the CHL logos aren't available in your created team, but what are you going to do? I'll show you guys the jerseys really quick. For this, I literally just did apply team colors. So right there's the home. I'm not a huge fan of it. Unless we make it to the Stanley Cup final, we're never going to see it again. Right there's the away. Honestly, the away's not too bad, I don't think. I definitely prefer it to the home. And a quick look here at the details. Obviously, team name Rangers, abbreviations, kit, arena name, all that fun stuff. And for the franchise sim, guys, we'll be subbing out the Detroit Red Wings. They're actually tied with the Ottawa Senators for the lowest rated team in the Atlantic Division. Both 88 overall. Obviously, Kitchener should be in the Atlantic. And one thing you might not know, Kitchener is actually closer to Detroit than they are to Ottawa. I live right next to Detroit, so I should know. It's about a 3-hour drive to Kitchener from here, and then another 5 hours if you want to go to Ottawa. It's always why people are wondering, like, why I'm a Red Wings fan opposed to Maple Leafs. It's because even though I'm Canadian, you know, Windsor is literally right next to Detroit. So I'm going to go back here, sub in the Rangers for the Detroit Red Wings. Again, this team, if they make the playoffs, I think that'd be pretty crazy. They definitely have an outside shot, I think. I think, you know, any team does in the sim if it goes your way. As you can see there, top players, John Gibson, finally have an alumni team with a good goalie. As well, we have a couple solid forwards there in Jeff Skinner and Kadri. So obviously that makes us the lowest rated team in our division as well as the league. With a new update, no teams below 88. You can see Carolina there's an 88, same with Chicago and Arizona. So hoping for a little bit of a Cinderella story here. So as you guys can see here, the Kitchener Rangers team stats to builder, really no surprise there. We're the lowest rated team in the league, but like I said, I think maybe somehow we can make the playoffs. So first line there is honestly pretty solid. You got Jeff Skinner, Kadri, and Hoffman. Jeff Skinner, obviously a bit of a Kitchener Rangers legend. Everyone thought he was going to be going back for his third year, but he actually made the Hurricanes as a rookie. Ended up making the All-Star game that year. I think it was in Carolina. I remember that was pretty crazy. Then you got Kadri, who played his first couple years in Kitchener before being traded for London. Another cool thing with these two, actually, is that Kadri was picked 7th overall in 2009, and then Skinner was picked 7th overall in 2010. And then Mike Hoffman here, so this is actually kind of interesting. I thought he played in the Q. Turns out he played 2 games for the Rangers. That was like his first 2 games in the CHL. Then he actually went and played in the QMJHL. So I'm guessing his family movement is actually from Kitchener. So actually, guys, I just looked it up. Hoffman failed to make the Rangers roster, which makes sense. They must have given him a tryout since he was like a local kid or whatever. Played a couple games, then got cut. No OHL team picked him up, so then he transferred to the QMJHL, which I think is only allowed if no OHL team wants you or whatever league you're in. So thought that was just kind of some cool, interesting facts there. So second line here also is okay. It's definitely more of a third line. I think really what this team's missing is a true second line, like 3 guys that are low 80s, but Bodker, Faxa, and Ryder there are all pretty decent. Matt Pupple here is actually a local guy. He's from Essex, which is like a town right next to Windsor, so that's pretty awesome. I remember him being very solid on the Rangers. He actually originally played for Peterborough Pete. Josh Levo there, Justin Bailey, and then fourth line here you got Jerry Morin, AHL All-Star, never could quite crack an AHL lineup though, Nick Spalling and Shane Prince. Now, like I said, forwards are pretty good. We're basically just missing a second line. Defense, though, is definitely the weak spot of this team. So, as you can see here, top pair, John Moore and Yannick Weber. It's definitely more of a third pair on an actual NHL team. Maybe a second, like on a bad team. Bertuzzo and Corrado there is the second pair. And then Melchiori and Murphy is the bottom pair. Murphy was actually a stud back in the day on the Rangers. I remember that. When was he drafted? Yeah, 2011, 12th overall pick by the Hurricanes. Just crazy offensive skill. He kind of reminds me of like what Ryan Merkley is, but obviously hopefully Merkley pans out for the Sharks. Just crazy offensive skill. Unfortunately, was really good in the AHL. Never could quite make it in the NHL. And he was drafted in 2011, so I think he was on the same teams as Faxa and Ryder. So again, just kind of after the Spitfire glory days when all those other teams started to beat us. Now, even though the defense isn't too great and the offense is pretty average, the reason this team might make the playoffs, as you guys already saw, is the fact we have John Gibson in net. With the recent roster update, he's actually a 90 overall now, which is just insane. 25 years old, medium elite potential, so he could grow to even be like a 92 by the end of the season if he plays well. He actually was probably like the lead Vezina candidate in real life this year until Anaheim lost like, I don't know, 10 of 12 games or whatever it was, so kind of feel bad for him there, but hopefully he can just carry this team. And we actually have a very solid backup as well. Steve Mason, I mean, for a lot of these alumni teams, Steve Mason would be the starter, so the fact he's our backup, I think, is pretty awesome. Also want to give you guys a quick look at the power play. Obviously, just rocking that first line of forwards, Skinner, Kadri, and Hoffman. We're going to be relying heavily on those three, along with Gibson. Really, they just have to have, like, career years. Same with Gibson for this team to have any shot at the playoffs. Also want to show you the AHL team here. We do have some extra players. So Pumple's actually on the Griffins in real life, so we technically have 2 Pumples in this organization right now. Verone here, I thought about using, but decided just to have him as like the 13th forward, I guess. David Clarkson is also in the AHL. He played for the Kitchener Rangers. I actually saw him in the stairwell of the one Kitchener Ranger game I went to. Didn't say anything to him. I think he was like being escorted somewhere. They were like honoring him or some foundation he does. I forget exactly what was going on, but the only Rangers game I've ever been to, I was like 5 feet away from Clarkson. I think he had like just signed that Leafs contract, so people still thought he was, you know, a really good NHL player. Defense here, we actually have Kindle. Thought about using him over Ryan Murphy, but at the end of the day, Murphy's only an overall below him. He's younger, so he still can grow, I believe, and his offensive stats are just so much better. I don't know if you guys noticed, but like Murphy's puck skills, skating, even his shooting are all so solid. Like 1 overall less, we actually can score. Like 80s there for puck skills, 3.5 stars. Skating stats are all solid. Shooting 3.5 stars. Like for 72 defensemen, very, very good offensive stats. So hopefully now that he's back playing for the Kitchener Rangers, he can like refine his game. And right here, guys, want to give you a quick look at the captaincy. So obviously, you just have the 3 best players wearing letters. Kadri there is one of the alternates. Jeff Skinner I have as the captain. I don't think he actually ever wore the C for the Kitchener Rangers. I think he was only ever an alternate, but I mean, he's a big, like, face for that franchise. I know, like, my family I have in Kitchener are all huge Jeff Skinner fans, even still to this day. Like, my aunt will mention him when I bring up the Kitchener Rangers. So that's how you know a big part of that franchise. Also, I mean, having a career year, NHL All-Star, I think it's fine him wearing that C. Plus, I'll show you guys on screen right now. I think he looks pretty good there in the jersey, wearing the C. And then finally here, we actually have Mike Hoffman as the other alternate. Also want to show you guys quickly here the offense, defense, and goaltending ratings for this team. If I had to guess here, I'd say, you know, our offense is probably like high 80. Defense, I don't even think will be an 85. Goaltending, though, should be good. Like, goaltending should be 92. So, yeah, we're pretty close. Offense, 87. Defense somehow is an 85. And then goaltending there, 95. That might be the difference maker. We'll start the sim here and see what happens. Alright, guys, we're at the trade deadline here. As you can see, the team's not doing too bad. Like, there's a chance we could at least finish above 500. Currently 25, 28, and 10. So the 10 OT losses tells me, you know, we're staying in a lot of games, probably due to our goaltending there with John Gibson. Skinner's got 49 points in 63 games. That's pretty solid. And we're actually not last in the division. It's the Buffalo Sabres there. We're 3 points ahead of. Only 1 back of Montreal. We're actually like only 5 back of Toronto there for the last division spot. 8 back of a wildcard spot. So Atlantic's is not doing too well this sim, but we do have about a month and a half left here. I'd say anything's possible. And we're at the end of the season, guys. Unfortunately, the last month and a half or so went the exact opposite of what we wanted. Pretty much lost every single game. Montreal there was the trade deadline. So after the deadline, we lost like 7 straight games. We did have a couple shootout losses to get us, you know, a couple points, but other than that, it was pretty rough. I think we went on like another losing streak right here, like 4 straight games. Unfortunately, yeah, I just did not do too well. So 30, 37, and 15 there is the final record. So 75 points is still not the lowest points we've had for Alumni team, but we're going to be close to the bottom of the league, I'm sure. Last in the division there, Ottawa beat us by 3 points. Boston, Toronto, and Florida actually are the 3 teams moving on from the Atlantic. Where's the Metro wildcard? 89 points for the Blue Jackets. So yeah, we're outside of a playoff spot by 7 wins. That's quite a bit. Skinner there, 64 points in 82 games. We'll see how everyone did, especially very interested to see how Gibson did, like where his numbers still decent, even with his team in front of him. Kadri at 60, Ryder 57. Surprised to see him that from him on the second line. Bodker 51, Hoffman only 48. I'm not sure how. Like he was playing first line, forward and power play. Should have had at least 50 and probably 60 if Skinner and Kadri both had it. Faxa had almost 50. Murphy 25 is not too bad. Was 72, still a 72. I mean, looks like, you know, everyone else didn't do too much, but really we didn't expect them to. So Gibson stats here. Was a negative record, obviously. 13 overtime losses, though. 4 shutouts isn't bad. .921 save percentage, 2.57 goals against. So, I mean, a .92 save percentage is pretty solid. And 2.5 goals against with this team in front of him, I think, is also not bad at all. Even Steve Mason stats there, again, for this team, I think are pretty solid. And right now we're going to take a look at who led the entire league in scoring. It better not have been like Jeff Skinner on the Buffalo Sabres, and it wasn't. Okay. Sagan and Ben both. You got Patty Kane, Taylor Hall, Radulov. That Dallas Stars line always does so well in the sim. Ovechkin there, Kessel, DeBrincat, Kucherov. Honestly, kind of a low-scoring year aside from Sagan, who had 95. So that's kind of weird how he just did so much better. I'm also going to check down and see where he finished in the standings. I'm really hoping we didn't get last place. 75 points. It's probably going to be close. So Chicago there has an unreal year, 114 points. Dallas, obviously, best first line, so they finished second. Calgary getting all the boosts in the most recent roster update obviously helps them. They finished third. So where are we going to be? Again, I really just don't want to finish last. Surprised to see Tampa Bay finishing 21st. That's really strange. Oh no, it's going to get... Oh, there we go. We finished 29th. Edmonton did worse than us there with 71 points, and Vancouver also at 71. So third last, 75 points. At least, again, we didn't finish last there. Let's see. So goals for 192. We had more there than Edmonton and Vancouver. Goals against 227. Looks like it might not have been too bad. Let's see. Goals against, like I said, we had Gibson, who was really solid. Vancouver had the worst with 242. Okay, we were pretty high there with 227, even compared to all the other teams. And check this out, guys. This is actually kind of interesting. So our home record there, 14, 21, and 6. Away record, though, 16, 16, and 9. So for whatever reason, our team doesn't like, going back and playing in their OHL arena, I guess, as we play a lot better away. But what are you going to do? I really didn't expect this team to make the playoffs. I thought there was a chance, though, with Gibson and net. So we'll send the rest of the season here, see who wins the Stanley Cup, and then maybe somehow we get an award. And the draft results just came in, guys. This is kind of cool. So you got the Anaheim Ducks picking first overall. Maybe Gibson finally gets some help. You have the New York Rangers picking second overall. And then the Kitchener Rangers, of course, that's us, picking third. So we'll probably get like Dylan Cousins, Kirby Dack, Vasily Podkolzin, one of those guys. Then you have both Vancouver and Edmonton, 4th and 5th there. And neither of them won a draft lottery. So kind of feel bad for those two teams. But what are you going to do? So I'll just go through here, guys, and show you the awards. Like I said, maybe we won one. You never know. No surprise here as well. Winnipeg Jets within Stanley Cup. It's pretty much always like them, Tampa Bay. Usually one of those two teams, honestly. So let's see here if we got an award. Winnipeg there with the cup. Chicago President's Trophy, we know that. And Winnipeg actually beat the Columbus Blue Jackets. Reminds me to take a look at this playoff tree here, see what happened. So the Jets there beat the Blackhawks, who won the President's Trophy first round in 6. Preds, 7-game series to the Sharks, and then beat the Blue Jackets in 6. Blue Jackets there, 3 in a row, best of 7 series. Panthers, Leafs, and Penguins. So that's kind of crazy. I mean, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens with the Blue Jackets. So they trade Bobrovsky, Panarin, both of them, neither of them. Cannot wait to kind of see how it shakes out. So Sagan there, Art Ross Trophy winner, also wins the Hart. Ekman Larson, James Norris, Sagan, Lady Bing, Peterson with the Calder, Hellebuck, Conn Smythe, Rene Vesna. That might have been our only shot there with Gibson. He also got the William Jennings. Edmondson there, Bill Masterson. We actually would have had a shot, I think, at this one, maybe like Bertuzzo, but unfortunately didn't happen. Giroux there, Selke, Sagan, Ted Lindsay, and then Ovechkin there. Yeah, got the Maurice Richard. No awards for this team this year. Didn't finish last. That's about really all we can kind of be happy about. I think maybe if we simmed it, I don't know, 100 times, one time, somehow, some way, we might have made the playoffs. And looking at the overalls here, Kadri and Skinner are both up 1, now 86s. Faxa there's up 1, same with Ryder. Zadina was actually on the team. Levo's up 1 there. Let's see. Pumple, I think's up 1. A lot of just like Grand Rapids players are coming through because they're just better kind of than our bottom 6. And I want to check and see if Gibson maybe grew in rating. No, okay, stayed at a 90. So that is it, guys, for this Alumni team video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you have any suggestions for future Alumni teams, leave them in the comments section. As always, guys, thanks for watching this one. If you did enjoy it, leave that thumbs up. Have a nice day, guys. Goodbye.